How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to 2A News Now. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Troy, and I really do appreciate you taking your time tuning into my video. Also here on 2A News Now, you get your Second Amendment news straightforward and to the point with no BS added in. The ATF engaged in business rule received 318,000 comments. So what's next? A controversial proposed rule by the ATF that paves the way for universal background checks saw more comments than any previous change. The public comment period for the proposed rule by the ATF titled Definition of Engaged in the Business as a Dealer in Firearms ended at midnight last Thursday. And when the smoke cleared, 318,040 comments were listed. This was far higher than the 211,564 comments received in the agency's 2021 Stabilizing Brace Rule, 291,249 comments in its Frame and Receiver Rule, and 193,297 comments in its 2018 Bump Stock Rule. At stake is the sweeping, multifaceted, 31-page rule change in a mushy series of pitfalls that could make anyone who sells a single modern gun without a federal firearms license liable for prosecution as an illegal weapons dealer. Even selling a gun to a relative could be suspect. The rule was proposed in September without consulting the country's firearm industry. While of course anti-gun groups applauded the efforts, the proposal saw a significant turnout from both sides of the issue, with firearm industry trade groups and a broad mix of Second Amendment organizations filing official comments slamming the rule as overreaching in several ways. Likewise, a coalition of 26 attorneys general, led by Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen and joined by the Arizona legislature, submitted a 9-page public comment opposing the rule change on a number of points. In America, it should be legal for a family member to sell a firearm to another family member without the risk of prosecution. But the exception is flawed. The letter from the Knudsen group also said, reading the exception, one can conclude that if a family member sells another family member a firearm for as little as $1 more of the original purchase price, that seller could be open to civil, administrative, or criminal liability that absurdly risks hurting innocent people. Also submitting public comment were a variety of Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill who have called out the agency for making a not-so-subtle move towards universal background checks. U.S. Senator John Barrasso, who is a Republican from Wyoming, who co-signed the GOP group comment, said, the Biden administration will do anything to attack the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens. Weighing in on the support of the Biden administration's new rule is a host of gun control groups, large and small, using cut-and-paste advocacy. The Bloomberg Back Everytown group channeled 238,000 comments from its supporters to the rule, with the organization's president, John Feinblatt, stressing the group and its members have been pushing for this common sense step for years. And now we urge ATF to listen to the people and finalize the rule as written. Also in support of the rule were 160 Democrat members of Congress, led by U.S. Senate Majority Whip Dick Durbin and U.S. Representative Robin Kelly, California Attorney General Rob Bonta, joined by another 19 state AGs, as well as the Attorney General of the District of Columbia, who filed comment this week as well. Under-regulated firearms transactions increase the likelihood that individuals who are prohibited from legally acquiring guns will obtain them, posing a threat to communities and contributing to the prevalence of gun-related violence, said DA Bonta in a statement. So everybody's wondering what happens next. After ATF considers public feedback and makes any changes because of the comments, providing the agency still wants to proceed, it will publish a final version of the rule into the Federal Register, describing and responding to the comments received. That final rule will include a date for when the change becomes both effective and enforceable, generally 60 to 90 days into the future. It remains to be seen exactly how that will play out, but any rule pressed into effect is likely to be a target of multiple federal lawsuits, as well as potential congressional oversight. We all know that this rule is unconstitutional, but I hate to say it, the ATF most likely is going to get away with it. As you can see from the other rules that I mentioned from the past, with hundreds of thousands of comments and most of them against the particular rule, the ATF still goes through with the rule and posts it into the register. And we are supposed to follow these rules, even though they're not laws, and even though Congress didn't even have a vote on them. As always, I would really like to hear your thoughts about today's video in the comment section. And I appreciate everybody's support with the channel. You guys are always crushing it by liking, sharing, and subscribing, and hitting those post notifications. And I invite everybody back to watch my next video.